Recently, I went to Vegas. No, not to gamble, but to play Osu. This video is about a tournament called the Roundtable, which has famously hosted some of the most competitive players Osu has to offer. And it also has one of the biggest prize pools Osu has to offer. Now, in the past, 16 of the best players in the world would be hand-selected to fly in and participate in a 3-day-long event. But this year, it was different. The Roundtable 2025 was now hosted at a gaming convention called Level Up Expo, and pretty much anyone could show up for a chance to qualify for the tournament. Many people even flew in for a chance to compete, including me. So I'm making this video not only to document what happens at a LAN tournament, but to also show you how much time and effort it takes for these top players to get a podium spot in this tournament. If you want a realistic number, it's somewhere around 10 hours of playing Osu in one day. So of course, to start that long journey off, we needed breakfast.
Game 1 of Roundtable, qualifiers day.
W, let's win, dude. Let's win. So after we got breakfast, we came back to the Airbnb so that we could collect all our stuff to play the qualifiers later. I made sure I had everything in my bag. My tablet, my keyboard, my headphones, and after everything was packed, we headed over to the convention. Level Up Expo is actually a pretty big convention, so we were trying to find the Osu booth without a map, and obviously we got lost, so we stopped by Gamersubs to get a little drink. My partner manager Todd got us some bao berry, which was fire. Hey, it's Edward over there. Oh, Ed. So we got upstairs and we finally found the Osu booth, and they were explaining to us at the front desk that you can play in multiple lobbies so that you can submit your best scores, basically. And I thought, I don't need a second lobby. Like, I don't need to do that. So I finally found a desk and I started to set up, and I realized I only had 25 minutes to set up everything I needed to get into this lobby. Also, this is me realizing I forgot my headphone wire. I ended up having to use the default Razer headphones that were there, which were pretty good, but the noise cancelling was so needed because the convention was so loud. Everything was set up, I was logged in, all my peripherals were there, and then boom! All of our PCs don't have internet? No fucking internet, bro. For the entire row of PCs at our table. It took almost 30 minutes for the internet to come back and for us to get into the lobby. So while we waited, I got to sign some people's tablets, so thanks for bringing them up for me to sign. Then, finally.
If you have signed up for the champion lobby, you should have received an invite. Join the lobby. I'm talking to you, Dragon King, Mahirushima, and Nuclear Ball.
I know this was only the second lobby of the day, but it was kind of a disaster. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, this lobby took forever. I think it took over an hour for us to play like, what, 8 or 9 maps? Not only did the lobby just take forever to finish, but I was also bombing every single map I played. I was losing to an orange juice. Bro, I don't know who the orange juice was, but they were goated. Alright, post-match interview. Oh no! Oh no! This is around the time when I started thinking that maybe I should do a second lobby because I was rushing to get on the setup and I just needed some warm up. And then I realized the secret. Gamma. Honestly, it was really good that I did that second lobby because I actually improved my average by 240,000 points. If I kept my first lobby scores, I would have placed number 10 in the qualifier results. But because I bumped up my average score with a couple of FCs, I got 690k average. And it put me in a much better position in the bracket. So we had our dinner at Korean barbecue after qualifiers, and it turns out they had just released the qualifier results. I ended up placing 4th. It was Rectagon, Fancy Lad, Xylus, and then me. And all I remember thinking was that, damn, they played so good. I don't even know if I can win, or even get the podium at all. But I thought, there's no use in being worried about it. I'm just gonna show up tomorrow and do my best. Because, really, who knows what's gonna happen? So, it was day 2, we headed to the convention, and unfortunately we didn't actually get the same PCs that we were playing on the day before, but maybe it was a blessing in disguise. Unless your monitor would not work if you put it in 144Hz and it would black screen the entire thing. I tried switching the cable and that didn't work, so I ended up having to steal one of the other monitors from another PC setup. And I can't stress this enough, but the pressure was really on, because at that point I only had 15 minutes and then I had to get my butt into the first match of the day. But before we get into the first match, I want to quickly explain how the tournament's gonna work. First, our matches are determined by our seeding results. Then, we're given a set of maps to play. We can ban 1 or 2 maps depending on the stage. So usually I ban out the speed maps that I can't really play because they were just way too fast for me. So after map bans, you and your opponent will take turns picking maps until someone has won enough maps to win the match. So it was 11 AM exactly, and I had gotten my first invite to my first match of the day. I was against xootynator, who actually I knew in the community, but never really played against. I kind of kept it simple, you know, picking Airman as my first pick because I'm crazy. It was pretty shaky to start. I still wasn't really used to the new setup and everything, but I still got that win. I looked up after I won the point and bro was stressing about his second pick. It was a really short match, only first to 4, so I wrapped it up pretty quickly. I did, however, find out that I'm actually pretty good at DT3, so I put that in my back pocket for later. Then came match number 2. This one was against Jaren? This match was also pretty straightforward, still first to 4 points. I brought back the DT3 that was in my pocket and got a cheeky FC on that. And I heard people talking about Hidden 2, so I decided to pick it, and that was probably the worst mistake I made in the entire tournament because that was the hardest map I've ever played in my entire life. And I lost. This was a second match won, and now it was on to the big guns. So my next match was against a player named Hotdog6000. And I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what a hot dog is good at, bro. I spent the only minutes I had before our match trying to analyze his qualifier results because I had literally nothing else to go off of. Going against a player you know nothing about can really be even scarier than going up against someone like Emmerich or Malashevsky. Dude, I even went so far as to look at his top plays as if that was gonna give me any extra information. So in a situation like this, I kind of just banned the map that I knew the least, which was Hard Rock 3, and then picked the maps that I felt the strongest on. I was actually kind of surprised because he banned DT2, which is obviously not something people normally do against me. I'm not really a good speed player, and it's pretty easy to abuse someone like me on that skill set. I picked Nomad 2 to start, since it's a map that I know very well and I think suits my skill set. Then boom! Dude, you're never supposed to let your opponent know how you're feeling about maps. Half of OSU tournament matches are basically mental. So if he's telling me he's upset with the map pick, I already knew it was pretty much in the bag. So after my pick, Hotdog6000 chose Hard Rock 2. And then boom, I pull out another FC. But wait, so did he. That's when I realized dude really came to play. I decided to get a little freaky. I remember he banned DT2 earlier, so I thought, why not try DT3? And he was not happy about that one. So after picking up my point on DT3, and picking up a point on his Nomad 3 pick, I decided to end it easy on a map that I thought I was really good at. At this point, I was getting really scared. I didn't know what was left in the pool that we were gonna play. And then this crazy bastard picked Airman. It was 3-4. And if he won one more map here, it would have gone to tiebreaker. And I did not want to play that shit. So I locked in. And then, something magical happened. Fucking yes, dude. See the shakes? Actually, I don't usually shake, but
Oh my god, you do?
I really wanted that one.
Semi-finals matchup. I lost by 3-100s.
On to the next. This was the match I was scared of. I already came off of a pretty shaky match with Hotdog6000, and now I had to face one of the biggest tournament walls of OSU, Rectagon. On top of that, it was entirely new map pool that I didn't even practice yet. However, I did know some of the maps. The match started off great, really. I thought I had 2 map bans in my pocket, but I only had 1, which meant I was probably going to lose a lot of points to his speed picks. However, Recty made the first mistake. He tried to remove Hidden 3 from the pool as his second ban, but there was no second ban. That meant I was free to pick one of my best maps to kick off the match. Except, turns out it wasn't exactly my best map. Neither was my Nomad 4 pick. And he had no issues pulling out exceptional scores on his own picks too, DT2 and DT3. To be fair, the maps were all fairly close, with the closest score gap being only 40k. But damn, Recty still felt so untouchable then. At 4-0, I had only one more pick, so I chose Hard Rock 2. Hard Rock 2, guys. Guys? I saw Ed running up to my table to see what was up.
What's going on?
So we had to wait 15 minutes for the internet to come back, just so we could play our last map. And was it worth the wait? GG's.
My hand's sweating, so.
We waited like 20 minutes just to play one map and get stalled. Well, on to losers. Those are my housemates. They're fighting each other. I'm gonna look for food because I think I have a break. So they told me to get lunch and I'll probably get that. The convention had a food court with a couple options, but I just wanted something light. So like a true white woman, I went for the Caesar salad chicken wrap, and it was pretty awesome. Then I kind of just came back to finish watching Zadless vs Fancy Lad, which I think was the only match to go to tiebreaker, and that was also really cool. After lunch, my next match was going to be against Fiery Rage, and if I won that, then the next stop would be up on the main stage. Now, Fiery is a fierce opponent. He's been on the American OWC team along with Recti and Fancy Lad for years now. Fiery himself has actually been on the OWC team since 2016, and he's an incredibly skilled player when it comes to aim, flow, and precision. But he was the only person in the tournament that I knew I could speed abuse. And thankfully, on this map pool, there were a lot of maps I thought I could get an edge on. Nomad 5, a dense tapping map, done. DT1, a bursty 250 BPM aim map, done. Even a classic map like a Tama no Taiso in the hidden 1 slot was a clean win. I might have gotten absolutely obliterated on the Hard Rock 2 pick, Helix, but overall, I think it was a good match for me. And it definitely gave me the confidence I needed to get up on that stage and destroy my next match against Fancy Lad. The stage was finally ready for me. Honestly, even if I didn't get top 3 at this point, my only other goal was that I wanted to play on the stage just once. I was kind of scaring myself before the convention even started, thinking that it was going to be an arena packed with thousands of people watching, and I'd be really exposed and weird looking up there. But nah. We were in a box and I wasn't even tall enough to see over the monitors. It was really cool though. You can see where the cameraman sits and where the casters are, and there's some really cool custom visuals that the roundtable cooked up just for this event. Now, newer players might not know this, but Fancy Lad is actually known as one of the best tournament players of all time, especially during 2020-2021. During those years, he won badges for 17 tournaments and was the previous captain for the American OWC team, leading them to victory for 3 years in a row. And because of that, he was also one of my biggest inspirations when I started tournaments around 2020. And at this point, we've both been playing Osu for around 8 hours, and even though I was tired and he was tired, I really wanted to do my best when I played against him. So, my strategy was simple. I knew exactly what Fancy was good at, so I went ahead and banned the weird reading map that I was shit at, and the weird rhythm map that I was also shit at. He went ahead and banned out my specialty, which were the 2 aim maps, Hard Rock 1 and Nomad 1, which honestly I was fine with, because I don't know if you've seen these desks, but there was literally no way I was going to do well on those anyways with no warm-up. Fancy went ahead and picked DT1 as his first map. Honestly, it was something I felt pretty confident on, but damn! I could not aim anything. I wasn't used to the new stage setup at all, and somehow, as a full area player, I over-aimed literally everything. It was kind of a pretty embarrassing score gap as well. He had almost 200k more score than me. But I realized I had to let it go and focus on what was ahead. I thought, since my aim felt really bad, I would try a stream map, so I picked Nomad 2. I also got an FC on it right before I moved to the stage. But I lost. Not even by a huge margin this time. I can't lie. We both kinda sucked. But losing by only 10k on my own pick was not something that I wanted. I needed to get a breakpoint on one of his maps, but it just wasn't happening. DT3, a map he got number 1 on during the LAN. I lost. Hidden 3, my pocket pick. Lost by 1,000 points. I was clawing for any ground I could find at that point. And then boom.
Snaps right now. Is the internet dead?
The internet for the PCs went out. And it was his pick, so all I could do was sit there and wait to see what the next map was going to be. After we finally got internet, Fancy went ahead and chose Odd Loop. Crazy enough, we had a conversation about that exact map that morning in our Airbnb. He said, "What do you think of Odd Loop?" I said, "I think it's fine." He said, "Yeah, it's not that bad." Which was true. It was probably the easiest map in the whole pool, and any older player will have the rhythms basically memorized. I felt comfortable until about a quarter into the map.
The comfort is still there. It's just a question of how consistent are you on it, and unfortunately xootynator not quite as consistent.
The squares, bro. My aim was just not there. I kind of just threw all those away. But I thought maybe, just maybe, if he missed there too, and I held for the rest of the map, I could still bring it back.
The accuracy pretty much even between these two players. There's just not too much that either of them can do to change the outcome at this point, especially that lower combo for xootynator. You need to build up quite a bit of combo and then get a miss from Fancy Lad. There is a miss that's necessary, but perhaps not sufficient for a win for xootynator. Only up, not even 200 combo, just under that mark. And with an 80,000 score lead for I'm a Fancy Lad, it's going to take quite a while for this to go back over, but another miss to come through for him. Assuming that she can continue to hold this combo, she's still down almost 50k. There has to be some more work done. How long can she hold? Another ridiculous aim pattern with the reading attached. The wide washing machine pattern. Fancy Lad misses, and now xootynator, she's got the score lead back on her side. That chain miss secures it for xootynator. She now just needs to hold long enough.
Holding on to a 500 combo into the ending and making it through a couple of extremely challenging patterns. This is a very impressive play from Zooty, saying she's not quite done yet, not going to go down those match points. And
I did it. This 1 point could change the whole trajectory of the match. The crowd was cheering, the casters were amazed. It was time to bring it back. With no mod 5.
That remains to be seen. It's going to be a bit of an early advantage here for Fancy Lad, up on the accuracy, up on the combo, but it's a long way to go. It doesn't let up at any point. It's here, but there is plenty of time left. Still a full half, and that's a miss on, and not really much to be said about that aim pattern from Fancy Lad. And xootynator now will have a big advantage to bring this back her way with the
misreading or misaiming a single note can make the difference between winning and losing a map, because right now that one miss is causing I'm a Fancy Lad to lose this map. There goes xootynator though, does find the drop right before that finger control pattern, and now Fancy Lad 500 combo advantage to his name, accuracy lead also on his side, and the score lead coming back his way. These streams right at the end of the map, and now the score swapped over to his side. Zooty finding the chain miss right at the end. Fancy Lad will also miss, but it will not matter, and 5-1 the score line at the end of...
I lost. It was close, but maybe I got a bit too freaky. Still, I believe there was breathing room. It's never over until it's over after all. Unless he somehow saw through my speed bluff and picked—
You want to pick Shred, I'm going to do the same thing right back. Let's go DT2. You want to make this a Speed Cup match? Let's freaking make this a Speed Cup match. Why not?
And Zooty in the chat says, take it back.
I'm back at my setup, my normal setup. This was the winner's setup. Man, that was really fun. That was really fucking fun. That was a good match, actually, with me and Fancy Lad. And I don't know where you went. I'm gonna have to go say hi to him, but don't tell him, but I love that guy. I have so much respect for him. He's one of my biggest tournament inspirations. And I feel good. I got 4th. the top 3 minutes.